Well, the Raptors can't quite finish their comeback attempt as they fall to the Portland Trailblazers 114-105. I'm Randy Urban, and this is Raptors Night Cap. Tonight, we're joined by Sherman Hamilton, Paul Jones, and Amy Audibert. Amy, did you ever think the Raptors were going to make a game of it after that first half? And I want you to be honest.
To be honest, no. I mean, you hope that, and it's weird to say that, right? Because I think these guys, we know that they fight hard, but it was just the fact that nothing was going their way in that first half on both sides of the ball. And it's a credit to them, Randy. It would have been easy for these guys to say, it's not our night. We've got another one on Tuesday, but it was a 4-point game with under 2 minutes left. I mean, it was a 23-point game with under 10 minutes left. It was an incredible fight back. At the end of the day, it's still a loss, and that's unfortunate, but you get another one on Tuesday.
Yeah. Sherm, what about you? Do you think comeback was in the cards? I mean, it fell short, but.
Well, I just know from history that this Raptors team doesn't quit. They're going to continually fight. They're going to, regardless of the score, they're going to play hard. So you just knew that Portland wasn't going to be up that big the whole game. Mm-hmm. Did I think they had a chance to come back? Yeah, I thought that, after a terrible first half, there was only one way to go. And I didn't think Portland was going to continue to knock down threes. But, this team fights. I mean, regardless of what's on the scoreboard, they fight. So they were going to try their best to make a game of it. And Portland in that second half, you could see them wilt under the pressure. So I'm not surprised that there was no quit in the Raptors. And the lead was too big, and you knew something had to happen in terms of the Raptors putting pressure on them.
Yeah. And Jonesy, this is back-to-back games with a slow start. I know the Raptors won the last game, but they didn't play great against Washington in the beginning. And then in this one, they find themselves down 25-4 early. What did you see in that first quarter? Like, what's contributing to this?
Look, there are a couple things. You have to be ready right away. And I didn't think that they were, not that they weren't ready. I didn't think that they were in sync right away. Portland made shots, and then I thought there was a lot of, okay, I'll get this back. And they're also capable. I think at times they eschewed some of the team stuff. In fact, it's okay, I'll get this one for you. Mm-hmm. And then a guy misses, and then another guy comes down and says, okay, no, I'll get us a hoop here. And you string 3 or 4 of those together. Look, they started with 2 turnovers. Their first 2 possessions of the game were turnovers. So, and to your first point, did I think there was going to be a comeback? I honestly did, because I didn't think the lead would get to 34. Yeah. I never thought it would get there. I mean, 25-4, you're down 21. It's like, whoa, okay, get your feet under you, get your legs under you, and start to chip away. And they didn't, and it got larger and larger. And to me, I think, the turnovers at the start, the first couple possessions, just not being ready, just being a little lax off the start. Mm-hmm. The gun goes off, and you're still tying your shoe while the other guy starts running, and you say, it's okay, I'll catch up. Mm-hmm. Well, that guy's got a head start, and he's still running, and he sees you coming, and he's running just as hard. So I thought it was the slow start was, turnovers, missed shots, few missed assignments. They snowball. The other team makes threes. They start feeling good. You start pressing a little bit of one-on-one. It doesn't work, and all of a sudden you're down big, and you're fighting out of a huge hole.
And can I just add on to that too?
Go right ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say too. The other thing is Portland's record and the fact that they're 10th in the West is so deceiving, because they got some pieces. Like, so on top of going down early against a team, you're going against a team that with CJ McCollum, with the way some of their other guys are hitting shots. I mean, then it becomes an issue of just managing the clock for Portland, which they did at the end of the game there too. So it wasn't even going against a team that had no pieces. It was going down big against teams with guys that, on top of a great shooting effort from some guys, CJ McCollum, who can facilitate and run that offense, and a huge body inside. So it kind of adds another layer to how crazy it was that did become a 4-point game in the final couple minutes, because they were going against a really good team with options.
Yeah, and I would add too, at the end of the day, we can look at their offense, and I bet you if we all looked at the tape, there were so many makeable shots that they missed during that stretch in that first quarter. that if we gave it to them again, there's no way we'd think that they'd miss it. But what we haven't talked about as intensely is Portland is a top 10 3-point shooting team in terms of makes and field goal percentage from three. The Raptors defensively made some errors. They weren't getting to shooters. They were collapsing, overhelping. They were just compounding the fact that they couldn't score offensively. But if they were able to clean up some things defensively, we're not talking about a 30-point lead at halftime. So I just think that from a defensive perspective, there were a lot of things that could have cleaned up. But Portland making threes, it's kind of what they do. Not to the point that they were making that in this game, but they are a 3-point shooting team. So the Raptors needed to know that and defend it differently coming into this game.
So then Jonesy, why? Because this franchise, this organization, one of the main tenets is defense, right? This is preached by Nick Nurse. He's a great offensive minded coach, but he wants guys to get out there and play hard every single possession. Why are we seeing sort of a letdown here at times?
Concentration, I think. They were on a 5-game road trip, and we know that first game back from the road trip is like the 6th game. It's like another road game. Until you kind of get your legs and get your bearings. To me, I think it's some concentration. Sherm pointed out, I think some overhelping, overzealous with assignments, not knowing personnel, leaving guys open. I mean, you can't leave McCollum open.
No, but why are those happening? Why are you doing that? Why are you not doing the right thing?
Because you don't know your personnel. You think, oh, okay, I'm going to help into the lane here.
Right.
But you can't help into the lane if that's CJ McCollum.
Right.
Ben McLemore.
What does he do? He shoots a three.
And off the bench in the first half, he was 3 for 4. On the game, he was 5 for 7. So I think there was a lot of attention on Nurkic because of, and anytime the Raptors, they do start small, they go up against a bigger body. It's always going to be an area of concern, right? Not letting that guy get established inside and maybe sending extra bodies. But to your point, Jonesy, of course you have to adjust, and it's something that they're going to have to continue to, that's going to have to be an area of focus for them, right? With that lineup is they're going to have to get out on shooters because they can't just crowd inside.
They were doubling Nurkic. You could see that Nick was saying, come. So now a bigger body gets the ball. You come at him. All he has to do is make the simple pass out. And as we've always said, you can't outrun the ball. And now a guy like McCollum or Ben McLemore, one of those guys, is going to be open. So, it's also a function of your defensive strategy and, daring other guys to beat you. And sometimes they do.
Yeah.
And Anthony Simons too. I mean, he hit some huge shots at the end. Like, I think he kind of put the dagger in twice, right? Like right at the last couple possessions there. So,
yeah.
I mean, the best part, the irony in all of it is they both ended up with 18 3-point makes. We're talking about how great Portland was. The Raptors and Portland both ended up making 18 threes on this game.
But it's a field goal percentage, right?
Yeah.
Sherman Siakam was one of the only bright spots tonight, 28 on 13 of 20 shooting. What did you like about his game?
I liked a lot in the second half. I thought he was aggressive. He was in attack mode. And, it's not when the Raptors went to that trapping defense, extended full court. When you have his length in traps, it makes a big difference. His activity, his lightness out there on the perimeter, he can create a lot of havoc. And I really thought Pascal was determined to get into the paint. He wasn't going to settle. He put pressure on the paint, and it opened up the 3-point shots for the Raptors as well. So I liked his leadership. I liked his mental toughness. And, when you're in a game like that, you want to find out who's willing to stay in the fight and who's willing to pull the thing along. And Pascal put his hand up firmly and said, I'm in this for the long haul. So I really liked what I saw from him.
Yeah, Jonesy, if the Raptors record's better, I mean, I don't see how he's not an all-star, especially when you compare him to the numbers of the year that he was an all-star.
Yeah, both he and Fred are really, really making a case. And as you said, Randall, the issue is the record. The fact that they're, going to be somewhere in play-in territory around the All-Star break. But there's no doubt when opposing coaches are putting a game plan together, Pascal and Fred are right at the top. And to Sherm's point, I think this was a night where the invisible sixth man, the crowd, could really have been helpful when they were making runs. I mean, you look down, the bench
But
was
even at the beginning of the
crazy.
game, yeah,
those are things. Those are times when you could use a little jolt of energy, a little boost, and it wasn't quite there.
Mm-hmm. Amy Benton got some run tonight. He's kind of been not getting that time. What did you think of his play?
I thought they got him in there particularly just for energy, right? They needed it. And I really like him on the top of the defense or on the top of the zone because of his length. I thought he did a nice job disrupting up there too. So if you want to check a positive box, it was definitely getting Delano out there and just getting him back, getting touches. He's been with the 905 right over the weekend. And when he's there, obviously his role's a little bit different, but I mean, the reality is a 6 or 7 man rotation is tough. It's hard to, you can't play 82 games, right? So in a season. So I thought, again, he was out there and just disrupting, and, hopefully he gets more confident and then earns a bit more trust again in these next coming weeks.
Sure. Last question real quick. Barnes has been impressive at times, but in terms of his overall development, where do you want to see more growth from him?
Well, in everything. I mean, he's still a young player, and as much as he does things well, I want to see him grow in every area. But this is kind of the rookie wave, right? You have a great game last game out, career high in scoring, efficient night, and then you come out tonight and it's just not the same thing. And I kind of liken it to, and I don't know if everyone plays golf. I know a couple of you play golf here, but it's like after you get that birdie, that next tee shot is usually a disaster. And that's what you're trying to fix. And, for Scotty, he's going to have those moments where, he plays great one night, the next night it just doesn't come that easily. And he's just got to focus on finding ways to be a positive contributor to the team all the time. And I think he's doing a great job of that so far. And it's great that a young player does not depend on the right column of the score sheet to determine his value in helping his team win.
Mm-hmm. The game's funny, Jonesy? He's so efficient deep last game, and then tonight he takes 11 threes. It just, the game is just interesting that way.
It is. It really is, and that's why it's cliche, but that's why you play it. They're all different. It's a different animal every night, and I think there's to Sherman and Amy's point, there's a lot to be proud of here in a sense, because it wasn't when you're down 30. It's not about who scores. It's about getting out there and scrapping. I mean, it looked like a high school game at times. Raptors flying all over the court, guys on the bench up, Nick yelling, come, trap. And as Sherm said, Portland wilted under that pressure, but it's just such a huge hill to climb. But some of these guys continue to display and show their character. Boucher, Champagny, Delano, Fred and Pascal leading OG. Like this team, I just hope they're healthy at the right time, because they are going to be a tough out.
All right, going to leave it there for now. Appreciate you guys doing the show. Next game for the Raptors, Tuesday night in Toronto against the Charlotte Hornets. Should be a good one. Tip-off goes at 7 p.m. Eastern. We will see you then.